Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Ben. It's another game from the Global Game Jam 2014. It's a first-person exploration-oriented progression, sort of platformer. I think probably a little bit heavier on the platformer than some of the other exploration games that I've seen. Not particularly long, but I think it has kind of a cool premise and an excellent soundtrack. I just want to say that right off the bat. The deal here with this one, really simple to move around, you know, typical first-person game, WASD, and spacebar to jump. But really, what we're about is the fact that we can click to see sort of a revealed passage of what's ahead of us. Sort of if you'll remind yourself of the Devil's Tuning Fork, if you might remember that one. I did a video on it a long time ago, early in the channel's path to where we are now. So what is our goal in this game? It is simply to progress forward and see the sights as far as I'm aware. There's not a whole lot very concrete about this game from what I can tell. It's mostly rather surreal and abstract and just has you sort of moving along a path to see where things are going to go. So let's do a little bit of sightseeing and maybe some cool stuff will happen. So first thing I'm going to do, of course, is subvert the game rules whenever possible. So I'm going to be hitting left click as often as I can to reveal lots of paths so you guys aren't staring at a black screen for more than a moment or two at a time. And I do want to apologize, of course, that that is going to be the case throughout this video. Unfortunately, not a whole lot I can do about it. Sort of a central gameplay conceit here. But after I walk down this pathway for a little while, I will reveal to you a little secret that I don't think it seems to matter which direction I go. I believe this is actually an endless loop that we're on. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but from what I was able to tell from the little bit that I played before we actually started up here, it appeared that no matter how many times you go around this thing, it's going to take pretty much forever. You're never going to find the end of it. So it's got a little bit of like an antechamber type of thing where it sort of tries to play with your mind a little bit, and eventually you'll notice there's a gap right here, which is your way down, of course, to the next area. So we're going to jump down that. Alright, so we seem to have fallen down. There's a network of different, I don't know what these are, like scaffolds, passages, and I wonder if there's any way to like climb up them or anything. Now the main gameplay conceit here, like I mentioned, the fact that you're going to be revealing parts of the screen all the time seems like a pretty cool idea until after a while it starts to feel kind of frustrating. Like the time that you need to spend in the dark seems a little excessive to me. Granted, this game was made in 48 hours. I'm sure there's a little bit of balancing that could probably still be done, so don't take anything too hard here. But that is just sort of my observation after messing around with this for a little while. It seems like we're always in the dark, which makes sense. I think probably for the amount of platforming we need to do, it's probably pretty reasonable, but you can't keep emitting these light beams each time. You actually have to wait a little while before you emit another one, and if you try to hit left click, well, in the middle of it spreading out, it's actually going to just cut off and then go back in to blackness, and then you've got to wait a little while longer. So I actually spend a lot of my time trying to do platforming in the dark here. I quite like these little geometric shapes here. It kind of reminds me of like pineapple chunks falling away for some reason. But I also have sort of a thing about just like random geometric shapes being in space. I don't know why, but I find that very compelling. It just activates a space a little bit differently than you're probably used to with most of the conventional architecture that you can see. I also found at the very beginning it was very exciting to me to see these few little bits of glowing area. Like there's this blue bit over here, and then there's also a red bit over there. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. The red bit is actually the end of the world. That's where we get to go when we finally reach the end of the whole thing. But the blue bits are just the places that are going to push us forward a little bit. And I keep actively trying to look around for any other paths other than the normal paths through things, and I think this might actually be one of those such paths. Now, I haven't actually fallen off of any of these, so I'm wondering if that's a thing that I can even do, and if I do, what's going to happen to me after that. Actually, maybe this is a normal path? I thought the path I was supposed to take was actually further down along that set of platform there, but I guess not. I'm also wondering about the use of this color repetitively. It's sort of like a tan, sort of a cream color, I suppose, and yeah, okay, this is actually the normal path. And it actually does serve a pretty nice color palette with the only couple of other hits of color that there are throughout the whole thing, which are just this blue and the red. And it's also quite cool how this the light path spreads out as you move around. I really sort of enjoy looking at that happening, and I kind of was wishing that there were other things happening with that as well. As we maybe push the light around, we could actually see colors combining or mixing in a strange or unexpected way. I think that could be kind of cool. And also if there might have been a few paths off the beaten path that we could take, and I'm wondering if maybe I can throw myself off of this. No, it looks like we're actually kind of fixed onto this platform, unfortunately, so there doesn't seem to be a lot of strange ways that we can proceed through the environment. Now, I'm actually jumping off of some sort of an invisible wall here, it seems. Not sure why that is, but kind of into it. I was kind of hoping maybe I could get up on top of some of these platforms and go for a ride somewhere else. But yeah, in general, I find this a very sort of a therapeutic game. I wish it was a bit longer, but again, 48 hours, no real amount of time to make a game. But, you know, for the amount of time that they did take, I think this is pretty cool. I really did enjoy the soundtrack, being able to walk through this. Sort of felt like a musical, like an interactive music video or something like that. So, maybe not the most in-depth thing, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot else to see. But thank you for being is a lovely way to close out your experience. And it just sort of is a thing that you don't see people say too often, so I kind of appreciate that. And I apologize to anyone who has trouble with flashing lights. This red is very bright, so I think I will face the other direction for the time being. So, unfortunately, another very short episode today. I'm going to probably try and look for some longer ones to cover for the next few days, if possible. But I just wanted to get some of these done because these seem like really cool experiences, and I really hate that there's like 100 of them that I found in the Global Game Jam 2014 directory that I want to cover all of them, but a lot of them are roughly this sort of an experience. So hopefully you guys don't mind too much. We won't know necessarily until we get into them quite how big of an experience they're going to be. So I had fun with Ben. Hopefully you had fun with Ben. Feels kind of weird saying that, but if you want to, go ahead and check out Ben for yourself. Link's going to be in the description, as it always is. And I will spare you the usual rigmarole as we go out on this one, but feel free to check out the description for some of my other social media links if you're interested. And please do come back again tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions do go up every single day. The series has been running for very nearly 2 years now, so with your support, we will continue doing that as long as humanly possible. So, you know, if you like the video, please do consider leaving a like. It helps me out quite a bit. And I will catch you again tomorrow. So I hope you have a lovely night, and I'll talk to you later.